Now, we'll talk about your book in a moment, but something that's sort of close to me in which sort of attracted me to have you on as a guest is Anthony Weiner, the former congressman, right?
Yes.
And with his last escapade, I guess you can call it, right? And you analyzed that yourself, right? And it's something that he said that you agree with. Is that correct?
Well,
sort of.
I'd just like to say first that I have
Yes.
not spoken to Anthony Weiner
Yes.
about anything that has happened.
Right.
I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a therapist, I'm a licensed trainer of NLP. And my opinion is basically, he made a statement about having a blind spot
Right.
that him and his family were working through. And so we take language very literally, so that whatever words it is that you use, it reveals how it is that you're actually thinking. So that when I say to you, I see what you're thinking,
Right.
or I hear what you're thinking.
Right.
Well, those are two very different things, seeing and hearing. So in one way I'm visualizing, in another way I'm hearing
Right.
what it is that you're saying. So when Anthony Weiner said that he has a blind spot,
Right.
it literally means he's not seeing something. It's in the blind spot.
Right.
And in some way, we usually refer to a blind spot in a vehicle, right? We're driving and we
Correct.
don't see something.
Correct.
Which means that in some way, perhaps he feels that he has no control over it because that's how the car has been engineered. But the truth is that once you start guiding someone to answering certain questions, like think about the outcome that you want in your life.
Right.
If I were to say to you or anyone else about to do something that may end up their careers in a different way than they intended, I ask, will this have a positive effect on every aspect of your life, your family, your career?
Right.
And have you thought, okay, just
Correct.
a moment, let me think about this for a second. What am I about to do? Is it going to have a positive effect on everything in my life? And if it doesn't, is this really worth
Right.
doing? Okay, so, in some aspect, education doesn't necessarily buy common sense. But when you start
Yes,
asking
correct.
everyone the right questions, they can start formulating their own answers, which means they gain their own representations inside their minds to finally make sense
Right.
of the world, their world.
I look at it, I don't think he's a pedophile, but I think he's in that area where he can't control himself like a pedophile. And there may be no cure for it. That's my thought, analyzing him. I did meet him several times, but when, again, it's just the audience might not realize, the first person, some of the people do, that ran against Anthony Weiner when he ran for Congress was yours truly right here.
That's right.
Behind the mic.
That's right.
Yeah.
For Congress, right?
I ran against him, and hey, I told you didn't listen to me, you guys. Okay, when I warned you about him. So, but either way, what do you think on it? What's your thoughts on that? He's not thinking of the end result. Is there going to be a punishment? Is there going to be something going to happen? He's just thinking for that moment. Is that correct?
Well, let's
Or
put
the
it this
outcome?
way.
Yes.
If you're looking at a movie and suddenly it stops and you don't see anything on the screen, and then you press play again, and some part of the movie, it's not where you left off. It's somewhere ahead of it. That's sort of something that goes on in some people's minds, that they don't keep running the movie
Right.
to actually see the consequence.
The consequences
So
of
that,
that. Yes.
let's put it this way, a person who's drank too much in their lives and they keep drinking and drinking and drinking, they don't realize that, okay, I may end up homeless without a family and on a street corner with a dog
Exactly.
peeing on me,
Right.
so.
And him peeing in the street.
And that's right.
Right, but I was just thinking, he's not thinking of the consequences. That's and especially he's done it several times, what he's doing. So what is that? Is that the blind spot? Is that
It's literally.
is that it? The blind spot that he's referring to?
And he's described it perfectly for
He did.
himself. Where if someone who does NLP, like myself,
Right.
Guides him through just closing his eyes, imagining himself doing something differently,
Right.
so that all other senses are out of the picture.
Correct.
And he only sees, okay, what can I do differently to make this better?
Uh,
I mean, I'm sure he wasn't thinking, wow, I'm really screwing this up every time he's sexting.
Absolutely.
You know, and I'm sure he didn't even think where this could have gotten him. But I mean, at this point, he doesn't even have a Twitter account. So I mean, he's just